how's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be continuing my Sharks of Summer series. Sharks of Summer is a series around here where once a week during the summer I take a look at a shark movie, and this week we're going to be looking at Zombie Shark. This was also known as Shark Island. This is from 2015, made in association with the Sci-Fi Channel, and was directed by Misty Talley. The movie stars Cassie Steele, Roger J. Timber, Ross Britz, and Jason London. Jason London, by the way, we recently saw in Mississippi River Sharks, and he played a much more comedic character, so cool to see his range. Now, if you guys have been following along with the channel, you may know that I've been going through and watching movies from this Shark Bait 6-film collection, and overall, this collection has really panned out. All the movies in here are in general pretty good, and this is actually the third film so far we've watched by director Misty Talley. And Misty Talley seems to totally get the assignment. She doesn't have a big enough budget to be the next Sharknado or anything, but she gets that we're making low-budget cheesy shark movies, lean into the humor, have fun enough characters, keep the thing moving, and keep it cheesy. They're not the biggest, best shark movies ever, and they never reinvent the wheel or anything, but they're totally effective and pretty fun. We watched Mississippi River Sharks and Ozark Sharks, both of which were pretty good, and I'm glad to say so is Zombie Sharks. And I feel the other two were a little bit more like in-your-face jokey, and Zombie Sharks is more of a case of we're making a cheesy indie shark movie, let's just lean into it. We'll still have some jokes, but it's more about just being a cheesy shark movie than trying to be a comedy. I don't know if that makes sense. If you guys do like B-shark movies with a sense of humor, this is a pretty good one, just like Talley's other two films. Totally good for a lazy Saturday afternoon if you want to have a laugh at a cheesy Sci-Fi Channel movie. Now, before we get too far, what's the movie about? No major spoilers, but the setup for this one is you have this guy who is taking his girlfriend to a vacation on Plum Island, and because there's a group discount rate, he decides to bring his girlfriend's sister and his girlfriend's best friend. They get in a boat and they check in, and we get to meet a really cool character, the guy who runs the resort and does the bartending. He's a local and he's like, oh man, I really want to bring tourism to Plum Island. It's a really cool place. I love it, and I'm sure you'll love it here. And he's just kind of fun and jokey, and he's really just an instantly likable character. So yeah, bartender guy is a great addition to the crew. Well, before they even get checked into their cabin, they see a dead shark on the beach. And yeah, to be fair, part of me was like, I want to see the inside of the cabin, but then I realized we're doing a zombie shark movie, let's just cut to the chase, right? They go down to the beach and they see a dead shark with a bite in it from another shark. Why would a shark bite another shark? Well, of course, they're zombies, right? The dead shark gets up and starts attacking people, and the action hits off relatively quickly. There's a storm coming, so it's going to be hard to get help, and of course, even though this is called Zombie Shark, it's actually more than one shark. We're going to have a whole bunch of zombies. And I do like that they play with the zombie idea a little bit. Because they're sharks and they're stuck in the water, we don't get a lot of like classic zombie horde moments, you know? We don't get them banging on the outside of a building, busting through windows or anything. But there is a fun siege on the beach sequence that happens later on in the film. And we also get some fun ideas, like the shark can be on land for a little while because it's already dead, so it's not gonna not be able to breathe. And also, people have to wonder, it's a zombie disease and the sharks are biting people. Are the people going to turn as well? Well, maybe. We also get the government lab that this thing came from, and that's where we get Justin London playing the soldier character, and I really do like how he's a serious government guy, but he's not necessarily cold-hearted. And we also get with this lab stuff, this bit with like the original alpha shark, Bruce, for all us Jaws fans there, right? And of course, the lab will provide some MacGuffins in the third act of the movie. And overall, the movie does stay moving, it does stay jokey. The CGI sharks are fun enough. There are a few low-budget movie moments that don't quite work, and again, we do get some of that choppy editing and stuff like that. But in general, they work good enough, and they come up with some wacky ideas for them to do, and that is an important thing, especially if you have zombie sharks. What's a few creative kills we can come up with? And they do it well enough, bearing in mind that this is very low budget. The characters aren't the best thing ever or anything, but everyone has at least a little bit of motivation, a little bit of character. The two main girls are sisters, and they have this bit with how the parents treated each of them differently and how their lives have played out. It's not the biggest, most developed thing, but it's enough to keep them working, and that is appreciated. No one here was annoying, and in general, I did like them. Now that being said, there were a few little parts that didn't really work. For example, they keep talking about this big storm that's coming, which they don't actually have the budget to do, so we don't really get like giant storm effects. I was hoping for sharks coming in on flood waves or something, but no, it's just something we hear about to keep the boats away. We also get all these parts with the parents at home, which we do get a little bit of backstory for the sisters out of, but it doesn't really pan out to be anything big. We do get some suffering in the middle act, where the main characters decide to run out and try to help a bunch of people just to keep the movie going, because logically speaking, you would just huddle in your cabin for a while and wait this out, but if you do that, that's a boring movie. So they have to find excuses to stir the pot throughout Act 2 before we get those MacGuffins coming in from the military. And also, yeah, it is a little bit hard to believe that with a potential zombie outbreak coming, the military can't get anybody more than just Justin London out there. I have a little bit of a hard time believing that there wouldn't be some way to get an emergency signal out and have like a whole swarm of government guys coming in. But again, we have to keep the plot going and we have to keep the budget down. Overall, I feel with this one the same way I felt about Misty Talley's past movies. They're not the biggest, best thing ever. I don't want to oversell them. They don't reinvent the wheel. They're not necessarily cult classics, but they work very well and they are pretty fun. If you guys want to spend a nice cheesy afternoon watching a cheesy made-for-TV shark movie, these do get the assignment, and so far all three of them have been quite enjoyable. They're B-sides, but they're really fun B-sides, and I can definitely appreciate them for what they do. So far, what are we, 5 movies into this collection and they've all been fairly good? Hey, that's great for the shark bait collection. Can't wait to see more. Anyway though, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Sharks of Summer 2025 playlist. If you guys want to see me talk about more shark movies, including other ones from this pack, feel free to click right here and see more. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Playlist here. Have a good day now.